Yeah. You gotta do something huge, but what do you do for a final blowout?
How drunk do you get at these parties?
Pretty drunk. It's kind of a social obligation. I have a concept for the final fiesta. Labor Day weekend. We need to think outside of the box.
All right.
We're gonna have an orgy.
Ew!
This is our chance to do it right. Take back what's been taken from us.
Isn't that from Goonies?
I am paraphrasing Goonies there, yes.
This Labor Day.
I don't know how you could have sex in front of a room full of people. I don't even like to get naked at the spa.
Find out if this group of friends
Is it true? All of you are having this orgy, and you didn't think to invite us?
What are you all looking at me for?
has what it takes
I'm in. And I'm fully shaved.
to pull off a good old-fashioned orgy.
I'm nostalgic for those good old-fashioned orgies. You know, not like the orgies that we all have today. You know, the one with our girls. You know, we're trying to get them in still, but I'm not giving up. But
Our blow-up girls?
It's going to be next year's Spill.con. Will be Spill.con Orgy
Fest. Orgy Fest. Yeah, Orgy Fest 2012.
It'll be 200 guys and 3 girls.
yeah,
And one of them is Metal Virgin.
yeah. And she's calling the police.
She's calling the police.
I'll be washing my hair that weekend.
You'll be
Can't
washing
make
the
it.
hair on our fluids is what you'll be doing. No, man. I'll stop it.
To be fair, some of that shampoo does look a little
Yeah, come on.
conspicuously like, yeah, I'm just saying.
Just wonder. You ain't even got no hair. Why you sitting up here complaining at
That's
me?
right.
But you will.
How about a little Pert Plus?
No thanks.
give you some
If I
of my
find-
sprinkles.
If I find any of your pubic hair around me, dude, you dead. All right, you dead.
You know, man.
So now with a good old-fashioned orgy.
Orgy?
Is it just a bunch of people in their knickers who kiss politely on
What'd
the
you
cheek?
say? They got an orgy with niggers. What'd you say?
Knickers.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
Jesus, man, is that all you hear nowadays?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I was unfortunate to hear your orgy joke.
Yeah.
You were
What
laughing
you
like.
I just got through watching The Help. Of course, that's all I hear nowadays. No, you
He's
know
just
what?
trying to figure it out over there. Don't worry. It's all right.
Where does this go? You know, man, I tell you something. This movie with this title right here, you're thinking is misleading, and it's not. I mean, the movie kind of it goes through with what it says it'll probably do. But
Your fear is what is going to turn out to be just another raunchy, let's see how much offensive humor we can throw in here with a bunch of like mid-level comedians. That's the fear, right? I know that's what I was
Smith
thinking.
film.
Well, yeah. I didn't think it would be that bad, but
You know, it's got Jason Sudeikis, so the first thing I think is this another hall pass?
Right.
Where they say they're going to do something raunchy and then it never really plays out.
No, you know what, man? Look, with the premise that they have here, it shouldn't work as well as it does. I mean, at least not for me, because I read the premise for this, which, you know, simple. It's a guy who plans an orgy. You're right. You have like these mid-level comedians. Some of these people I've never even seen are they character actors, and it's like an ensemble piece of
Just
one
read off some of
huge amount of people.
well, yeah, it's like one A-list actor and maybe one who's close to it. A bunch of them are like B-list actors.
It's like one of the
Okay,
guys
well,
from the
first
league.
off, though, the most important thing about it, tell me the name of the lead actor in this fucking movie who, every time I see him, I never remember his name because he
Jason
looks
Sudeikis.
like every other fucking comedian actor out there. He's a guy that just will never stick with me for some reason.
Okay, yeah.
Jason Sudeikis.
Do you mean Jason Sudeikis?
Is that
Honorable
him?
Bosses and Hall Pass?
Yes.
Yeah, you see this guy like every week. You don't have his name.
And I still don't know.
He's on Saturday Night Live every week. He's on 30 Rock most of the time.
You put him in a fucking pileup in a lineup of murders and cover him up in blood. I still won't be able to point him out. I'm sorry.
Come on, Leon. This is a guy who, as much as you've seen James Franco, still calls him James DeFranco.
Oh, you're right.
So,
Hey, that's how we say it in Italy. All right.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what it is.
Yeah, you need to take him to Best Buy. Let the Geek Squad work out the glitch.
I'm sorry. He looks like every other white boy I see in this neighborhood. I'm sorry.
Well, speaking of every other white boy and every other white girl, that's what you got here. I'll just list off the names here of all these actors and actresses. Jason Sudeikis, your man right here. Leslie Bibb, Lake Bell, Michelle Borth, Nick Kroll, Tyler Labine, Angela Serafan, Lindsay Sloan, Martin Starr, and Rise Coiro. The last guy you never even heard of.
You know, it's
Never
funny
heard of
because
him, man.
like those first 4 names you listed, I'm like, okay, I know them, and then you just ran off a list of a whole bunch of people who I ain't never seen. They could have been Tokyo animators for
Thing
all
is,
I know.
you'll see this and you'll go like, oh, it's a guy from that TV show that I like. Oh, it's a girl who's in that thing. I liked her in that.
Okay.
'Cause
Yeah.
everybody in here, you're like, oh, I've seen them. I do like the things I've seen them in.
Yeah.
The majority of
you're
these
right.
people
But
have
they're
been
just
on
not-
TV, though.
Well,
They're
you-
just not
yeah.
big stars here.
No, you're right. You've seen these people before. If I told you the name Nick Kroll, you wouldn't know the name. But if you saw him, you'd be like, oh, I've seen this guy in a lot of movies. The guy Tyler Labine, he's not people thinking, oh, I maybe I know that chick. It's a guy. That guy was in Tucker and Dale
Tucker
versus
and-
Evil.
Yeah, and the show Reaper is
The
where I
Reaper,
know
Yeah,
him from.
Reaper.
Oh, and recently Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Yeah.
right. So yeah, a lot of these people you've
That
seen
guy.
and you haven't seen, but it doesn't
He's
matter.
the funny fat guy for this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. The name that people remember from this movie is Orgy. You know, that's what they're going to walk away with. And Jason Sudeikis, he's like mid to maybe a little bit over mid-30s guy who takes his friends out to his summer house in the Hamptons. And they hang out like there every weekend, except, oh, wait a minute. No, it's not his house. It's his father's house, played by Don Johnson.
And a weird little cameo.
Yeah, very brief cameo.
Yeah, it feels like there's a missing scene somewhere later where he comes back, but that's it. We just get the little, hi, I'm Don Johnson.
Yeah.
and
You
now
hope
I'm
not,
gone.
only because if you notice on the DVD when it comes out, there's like about 30 minutes of his footage all cut. You're like, oh, that poor bastard.
Not this movie. In fact, allow me, Leon, to reenact his scene from the movie for you.
Please do.
I'm selling the house. That's it. Thank you.
That's pretty
Thank
much
you.
it.
End scene.
And I've got a young hot girlfriend too.
Oh yeah, and I got a young hot girlfriend who doesn't.
I wonder if that was in the contract. This bitch has to be the hottest fucking chick they have in the movie, and get her in and get her out. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, he comes in and says, "Hey son, I'm selling the house." And James Sudeikis like, "What? Wait a minute, I bring my friends out here? Oh, you know what? You're just selfish, Dad. You're just selfish." Meanwhile, he's just the biggest selfish spoiled brat. I mean, the guy's is like in his mid-30s, acting like a fucking kid who just had like his Xbox taken away.
He thinks he's Billy Madison.
Yeah.
That's,
No, well, I
his
was gonna
problem.
say, it sounded like Freddie got fingered.
Well,
No, it's not like
they
that.
grew up in this place. I mean, literally, in him and this group of friends, where they have been partying there every summer with like big event parties forever. I mean, it's just one of those things they didn't even occur to them would ever come to an
They
end.
took it for granted at some point.
And,
when-
and
yeah.
that's not a big point of the film, that level. I mean, there's a point I was with you going like, man, he's kind of being a dick about this. But then you're kind of like, well, you got to admit these parties are pretty cool. I can kind of see why they'd be
Yeah,
upset.
no, they're crazy parties, man. But still, the police get called out. I was like, just find some other place to party. You're a grown fucking man. Come on. But he decides, like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. This is on the house. This is going to be taken out of my hands at some point. How can I have one big last party? And I throw some crazy parties. Cyrus is right. These parties, cows come over from the next pasture to this party. Seriously, it's like, everybody comes who's nearby. And he says, I don't know what I'm going to do to top this. I mean, I got to go out with something that everybody will remember. He
Go out with a bang.
Yeah, go. It is. That's what he tells his friends. He's like, hey, guys, you know what? How about an orgy? And they're thinking like, yeah, right. He's like, no, I'm serious. He's like, I don't see any way. I've known you guys since high school. I love you. And, what's more intimate than me sticking my dick up in you?
Yeah, now I understand. Yeah.
In a very
Now-
literal
yeah.
way.
Yeah, I can't wait to see your balls.
And
And keep in mind, he's not talking about having a huge crazy party orgy. He's talking about an intimate, just that group of friends as the final send off for the house.
And that's what makes it
memories.
crazy, man, because I'm looking at this and it's like, I'm telling you guys, we could have some of the hottest girls. Each one of you could walk in here with a model. And if you say, okay, let's all fuck in the same room, I'm just like, I guess I'm going to miss out on this one. 'cause that ain't
I will
happening.
immediately say fuck no and then walk out with my hot girlfriend, and that'd be that's the end of the story.
I could try, but I'm feeling like almost immediately I'd just be like, look, this is embarrassing. I'm noodle dicking it because there's other penis in the room and it has an effect that's negative on my
And
libido.
I would wait for all three of you guys to do that and then stick around with all the girls.
Well, no, I would wait for all y'all to leave. And I'd sit here and then I'd open the door around the parking lot. Hey, wait! No, I changed my mind. Oh, God damn it. Run out with my dick flapping in the wind. No, I'm ready.
I'm smart enough to not get into an orgy with three other guys when two of them are black men. So
I know.
I have a feeling I'll be waiting at the back of the line.
I'm across the room.
Hey, don't forget Robo Penis.
Yeah. No, I'm across the room. I'm like, damn, Sarge, how did my penis get in your ear over here?
Co's just me filming the whole thing so we can sell
I'd be
it.
too busy screaming, snake.
America's funniest
that's
home
Leon.
videos.
No, it's a stupid premise, man. If you ask me, it's just like, I mean, forget, and I'm not even talking about like any kind of homosexual feelings here or anything. Like I'm scared to get naked in front of guys. Just kind of like, look, these are friends that you've known. That's because you're gay and you're scared to admit it. You overcompensate, but you know it's
even if it's a girl you've known for that long. There comes that point where either you're going to do it or you're not, and then later on, it's just not going to happen.
These are friends from high school, man. They've known each other. You've seen these people through a lot to where I would imagine that it's on the level of like, you know what? These are like my cousins, brothers, sisters.
Yeah.
I just can't see this happening.
They have put each other in the friend zone, man and woman alike, and it is a hard zone to break out. That's harder than the Phantom Zone to get out of, man. I'm serious.
You know, there is no like we're just going to do this and it's not going to matter. You know, once you do that, everything changes.
Yeah, but they all know that, and that's one of the key things for this film is that they're terrified of that, and you watch them go through this process as they sort of consider it, and they consider that maybe in fact there is something to this, that maybe there is a good reason to do this, and they all get sold gradually to each other on the idea of doing it, building up to the actual night of the orgy.
Yeah.
I only wish it was that in depth though, because I mean, I'm like, well, of course they're going to do it. It's the name of the fucking film. I mean, why are they not going to do it? Like, yeah, let's not have a good old fashioned orgy. That can't be the title of the film.
Well, you know, it could have been something. Like I said, I don't want to say anything about the end of the movie because it does rely on like, are they going to go through with it? Are they not going to go through with it? I mean, is it going to turn into like, this, are they going to like actually stick to their guns and promise what the title is saying? Or this going to turn into something that's a drama at the end and people's insecurities come out and they realize, oh, guys, we're just friends. We can't go through with this.
Which, can I say, at least it doesn't become a drama?
I'm not going to say any of that. I'm not saying any of that.
You got to talk about the movie, right?
It is a big mystery because most of the film is not the orgy or a orgy. It's like you don't really know whether or not it's going to happen. Anything could. I mean, just thinking about if this happened in real life, how much could go fucking terribly wrong. Yeah, it feels like some of that shit could totally happen and might happen, and I'm not saying it doesn't.
It just seems like it's one of those things where there's so many more things that could go wrong, that could go right, that I don't know what can motivate you to do it other than being completely shit-faced drunk.
Even as they said in the movie, you know what? There was a decade that people did this all the time, and obviously we're not leaving miserable because they kept fucking doing it. As like, okay, there is a point there. Obviously, there is a mindset you can get in where you can do this, and that's kind of the exploration of the film. What would that mindset even be? How could normal people of today's world get in that mindset? And it's actually interesting watching them go through that transition, watching them try and figure out if this is even plausible to do. Not to mention, kind of charmingly funny.
It is, and that's the thing. That's where it kind of wins you over, is that it is fun in the charming sense, even though, I mean, I'm just like, okay, they're not really handling this like normal people would. I mean, this is still a comedy, and it's going to be a comedy. And I mean, when you're watching, you're like, all right, this is all kind of goofy, kind of just setting up the premise and everything. And it's like, there's never a moment where you're just like, these people are really thinking about the consequences. No, I was like, this movie's not selling that, and I don't want anybody going in this thinking that it really is, because it's not. I mean, it's nothing that you'd imagine. Okay, that's how it's going to happen in real life.
No, that's the truth here. That's like, hey, this is a movie. It's a comedy, and and to me, even with this premise, it shouldn't work. But what makes the movie work is that there are a lot of lines and dialogue in this movie that just made me laugh really hard. There's a lot of situations in the film that just make me laugh. It's not about the sexuality at all in this movie. It's not about what's going to happen at the end. It's all about that guy says something really clever at that moment, and I'm going to be thinking about that probably even after I leave the movie, laughing about it. Or this is so much. This is so funny watching them trying so hard to have this orgy that they are actually out doing research by going to like a swingers club.
And boys and girls don't do that. Just so you know, don't do it.
Yeah, and it's even funny then when they go to the swingers club, you're expecting things like, okay, I'm going to feel uncomfortable by this because it's going to be a bunch of unattractive naked people, and I'm just going to squirm in my seat, and it's not going to be humorous at all. And somehow they managed to make like certain parts of that, from the moment they walk in there, it's hilarious.
And I have to admit, that is the only part where you're like, okay, this does seem more realistic, because it's everything you would see in a situation like that, and you don't want to. And the film's not the cameraman's not afraid to film it, especially how goofy it looks, and you're just like, okay, that just looks fucking retarded. When old people are fucking, it looks fucking stupid.